Hey guys, Crystal here, and this time I'll be doing my top 5 episodes of Season 3 of Steven Universe. So, jumping right in, for my number 5, I chose Mr. Greg. It's a really good episode, and it is a musical, so there's lots of songs. And it's actually really interesting because it finally explains what a bit more in detail why Pearl hates Greg. And it's so good that it won an Emmy Award for Outstanding Short Form Animation. And Rebecca Sugar even said it was her favourite, although I'm not sure when she said that, so she could have gotten a new favourite by now, but the point is, it's a good episode and it deserved to be on this list. So moving on to number 4, I chose Beta. So it's pretty good. The first half of the episode is full of Lapis and Peridot being amazing, showing off their meat morphs. It's adorable. And then the second half is a nice lead up to the next episode. So I thought it was a really good episode. And you know us, we love Peridot. Moving on, for number 3, I chose Earthlings, which comes right after Beta. And I chose the episode because I love Smoky Quartz. She's probably my favourite fusion. And yeah, Smoky Quartz is really fun, and it really was a nice moment because most of the time on TV shows I hate when they have to give a pep talk, but Steven's pep talk didn't feel like a cheesy pep talk. I love how, I remember he said to Amethyst, "Stop trying to be like Jasper. You're nothing like Jasper. You're like me because we're both not like anyone." And he says, "Stop leaving me out of this." And he says, and then she says, "Us worst gems stick together," referencing the previous events of Steven vs. Amethyst, where they considered themselves to both be the worst gems. And that moment there is what created Smokey, and that's why, she seems happy in the moment, but, well, we'll see later on how Smokey really feels about herself. But moving on for number 2, I chose Hit the Diamond, because it's just a really fun episode. It has a lot of rewatch value. It's one of my favourites to just rewatch just for fun. We got 5 extra rubies. We got our Ruby and Sapphire separated. That's always fun. And at first glance, you think Peridot's not in it that much, but all of her moments in this episode are amazing. Like at the start when she hides under a box, that's adorable. And then there's this nice moment when Steven goes into the barn and he says everything's fine, and Peridot recognizes he's lying to her, and he says, "To make you feel better," and she says thank you for that. And also later on, when the rubies fuse, Peridot runs out of the barn because she's worried about her friends, and that's a nice moment for her, that she's trying to keep her friends safe. So before I move on to my number 1 slot, I want to touch on some honourable mentions because it was really hard to pick out just 5 episodes. So one of my favourites that almost made it on the list was Steven vs. Amethyst. The episode starts off a little annoying with some Pearl stuff, which is one reason why it's not that great, but it gets really good during the fight scene, and it manages to mix in humour with the fight scene as well. Like, when Steven says, "It looks like we're both good at being bad fighters," Amethyst goes, "That's what you think." Steven says, "What does that even mean? I don't even know." It's great to mix in humour with a fight scene. It works so well for those two. and after they both collapse, it's just a nice moment between the two of them, and it shows their bond. Because, Stephen jokingly asks what's wrong with us, and Amethyst takes it seriously and says, well, I know what's wrong with me. And they get to talk it over. And the other honourable mention I wanted to mention is Too Short to Ride. It almost made it on the list. It's a great Peridot episode. And it is the discovery of her metal powers. But yeah, it's a really fun episode and really shows her character growth. And it's also, at one point, Shelby Rabara, the voice of Peridot, said that it's her favourite. So there's that too. But with that being said, my number one is Barnmates. It's a really good episode, and it really starts off the nice bond that we get between Lapis and Peridot. And, it really shows how far Peridot's come, because, in the end she has to apologize for everything. And it's really hard for her. It's really hard for anyone to apologize, but Peridot, she struggles with those social things. She just follows along what Stephen tells her, trying to get Lapis to forgive her so that they can live together. And it's not easy, but she manages it in the end, and I'm proud of our little Perry. But yeah, that's my number one, and that's all I can really say. This season was great, but I'm really looking forward to the next one. Season 2 is still my favourite overall, but Season 3 was good. It's proven to be better than I first remembered it. Doing these reviews has definitely shown me how good some episodes can be. But that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time eventually for when I do a top 5 for Season 4. And for now, well, the next thing you'll probably see is the Season 3 quiz. And if you liked this, please subscribe so then you can see all our reviews, and you'll see we'll be starting Season 4 very soon. So, see you next time for a Season 3 quiz and reviews of Season 4.